Good Wednesday morning. Welcome to Special Report here on TV and Soo Online. I'd like to thank our title sponsor, KC Securities, for sponsoring the morning show and the midday show for these special reports. Thank you very much, Daniel, and the whole team over there at KC. I'm Chris Olcorn, here with Colette Linden, and we have a whack load of information for you today.
We do. We want to start off with reminding you that Arch is our fundraising, our local fundraiser that we would like to push. They are in deficit $25,000 already for the 2020 budget. And that is due to the outbreak and having to get more supplies and just changing up their practices and procedures for the next whoever the new norm is, to make the new norm work for those who need to use the hospice. So please, if you could donate to Arch, the website is right there on your screen. And again, they are saying if $2 per family in the Algoma region would get them to that budget. So let's think of that and think of them and help this amazing facility out in our area.
Yes, you can donate right through their website. So you don't even have to physically go there to do it.
Nope.
Which is also great because then you're not exposing yourself to a healthcare facility as well. But you're still helping them none the same. So
we need to talk about social gatherings and social distancing.
Yes.
It's going to be an epic conversation. If you need to know what the
explain the difference, because there's a lot of confusion over what a social gathering is and what a social circle is.
Okay. I'm excited.
We will lay it out for you exactly what that is, so you understand. Matter of fact, the government this morning at 7 a.m. came back out and basically said this is what it actually means, because there's a lot of confusion out there. So thank you to the Ministry of Health for that, and we'll talk about that a bit later in the show. We'll explain, okay, this is what a social gathering is, here's what a social circle is, because they're actually two different things, and people are confusing them as being the same thing, or they're thinking one is the other, and things like that.
Well, that sounds so exciting. I just cannot
wait. It is, because you'll then know on the weekend what you can do.
I know. And we appreciate you keeping us informed, Chris, with all the new language and
here
the
on the hump day. We're already helping you out for the weekend. So there you go.
Speaking of the weekend,
yes.
What's the weather going to look like? And what's today going to look like? Because it was a beautiful morning coming in here, and yesterday was a beautiful evening. I don't know if you had a chance to enjoy that last night. Did you go for a walk last night?
I went for a walk in the late afternoon, early evening, but it was still warm. I had shorts on at that point.
I know. I was outside around 8:30 still, and it was gorgeous out last night. Anyways, I cut you off. Weather us, please.
Yes. Okay. So right now it is 14 degrees, which is about halfway to our high. Our high today is supposed to be 28. That's without humidity. With humidity, it could be over 30. The low today will be 19. Tomorrow on Thursday, once again, high of 29, low of 18. On Friday, sunny, possible chance of some clouds with a high of 29 and a low of 18.
Wait a minute. What happened to the 30s?
Well, with Humidix, it's in the 30s.
Yeah, I believe when I was the weather lady yesterday, I said 30.
Yes, it was 30. Yes, it was dropped down a little bit.
Man.
So unfortunately,
all right.
But with the Humidix, you'll get your 30. It only needs to go up 1 degree. And the other thing too is it's kind of looking like it's going to be a nice weekend as well.
Good.
And actually, on the weekend, we looked that we could actually be the hottest part of the whole province of Ontario.
Oh, well, that makes me happy.
So that would be nice, since we've been the coldest part for
I don't know if we've been the
quite
coldest.
a few months.
We haven't been the coldest, as we did not land the snow. I think it was in Calgary or something where they had the hail and everything the other day. It was brutal.
Yeah.
So be thankful
for what we
have.
You have drastic changes in temperatures mixed with thunderstorms, and it just becomes an absolute
I still remember that day to the weather. You're like, it's going to be a mixed bag, and you said it's like pretty much what every rail person works through is the rain, the sleet, the snow. And you called everything but hail, and then hailed that day. You were right, but you were still wrong, which I find hilarious.
Before 11 a.m. Then we're on at 1 o'clock, and we can hear the hail on the roof.
Well, regardless, that's a good segue into insurance, car insurance.
Yes.
I don't know how much you pay, and I don't know. We're talking about premiums going up and other things when we're talking about the film industry and having shows, having your set and how they're charging you premiums for your insurance now. It's COVID-19 insurance. Well, car insurance, no, they are not implementing a COVID-19 insurance. However, they are giving you about $150 a rebate. So the government, the federal government, says, you know what, I think you can do more. And that was Minister Champagne, who's actually on his way to New York City right now to attend the UN Council meeting, and we'll have more about that in a bit too. What do you have for us today? Any updated information from our numbers or anything?
Yeah, well, as I came out yesterday, the CERB payments are extended for 2 more months.
Yeah, which is great.
So that'll be a total of 6 months of CERB payment available.
Taxable or non-taxable? Which one was taxable? Which one's non-taxable?
It looks like they're trying to tax all of them now, apparently.
Oh, they've changed it in
They've
24
changed
hours.
this so many times. First there was like, oh, we're going to give X amount taxable, X amount untaxable. Then they said, oh no, we're going to do it all untaxable. Now it looks like they're going to tax it all. I have no idea. There's just so many things flying around from the federal government on CERB right now. But what they said yesterday was, they said that 2 months was taxable. But I've also seen both. The federal government said taxable and non-taxable for the previous 4 months on different occasions, and they've skipped back and forth when they actually even say it. So what I can say is the next 2 months are taxable. I know that for sure because that was in the bill that is going through, that the NDP is supporting, because the Liberals have a minority government. They need the support of another political party, and the only party that would support that was the Greens and the NDP. So they did the deal with the NDP because that gets them over the number they need for passing a bill, because it's a financial thing. It then becomes a vote of confidence. So the Liberals, if they lost that vote, would actually trigger an election.
Right, and we were talking about that this morning to remind everybody that they are a minority government, so they do need the approval of the majority government.
Yes, and
the majority parties.
Of governments, dealing with the U.S. government.
Insurance and government, 2 great topics.
Oh yeah, I'm sure people are loving this. This is important though. The Canada-U.S. border will stay closed until the 21st of
July.
Next month, of July, and that is for ground travel. If you fly, you can still fly there and back as long as you don't have symptoms. But this is for all of the land border crossings. As far as flights go, those have been allowed since May 22nd. They haven't changed that part of it. They've just continued to extend the existing ban, which is just on land travel and also like on water, like if you take a ferry over, for example.
The reunification group here in the Soo, it's not here in the Soo, it's actually across North America. In their Facebook group, I know that they're pretty upset about that decision. Although they did grant loved ones to go across and see, there's still some stipulations around who's considered a common law and who's considered a loved one. I mean, you could be dating someone for a year or 2 years, but you do not qualify at that point to cross the border for reunification. However, we did receive a news report yesterday that they're allowing Americans into Canada by land who are traveling through.
Yes, to get to Alaska.
And just telling them when they get to Border Patrol that they have to practice their social distancing and don't stop and all those measures. That's all fine.
I'm not sure how you drive from, like, let's say Washington to Alaska without a stop.
Yes, it
That's
would be
one
a
big
long
gas tank.
That would be there'd be. Oh, I don't know. I'm the worst. I can't drive from Sault Ste. Marie to Sudbury without wanting to stop in Espanola and Blind River and all the other little. Anytime I see a Tim Hortons, I'm like, I think we need to pull over. So I would not be a good traveler right now. But who's measuring though? Who's measuring that? If they're actually practicing that or not,
I'm not sure exactly. Like,
oh yes, sir. No, sir. 3 bags full, sir. Sure, we'll practice our social distancing and not use.
Not sure exactly how that's supposed to work. Like,
I don't think it does. So that's the point of that conversation.
A family from Texas that was in a restaurant in Banff.
Yes, that's right. And they're sitting down.
That's not exactly like not getting out of your car for anything other than washroom and fast food stops.
So if you're an American coming into our beautiful country, please continue to travel through and go to the washroom when you reach the destination. How about that? Ask politely. Okay, we've got a lot more coming up on this show, including some local news, some more updates from Chris, some American news. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
What's life without making a few mistakes down the road? A few sharp turns. And doing things for what we adore, but might regret later. A trip to Chuck's Roadhouse isn't one of them. With melt-in-your-mouth AAA steaks, buttery lobster tail, half-priced apps after 9 p.m., an ice-cold draft with all your Roadhouse favorites. Chuck's Roadhouse. Food the way it ought to be, priced the way it used to.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room, create privacy, or both. automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
At Maitland Ford Lincoln, we see our trucks everywhere. We see them on Queen Street, Lake Street, North Street, Bay Street, 2nd line, 3rd line, 4th line, Pine Street, Great Northern Peoples Road, Wellington, Cora Road, Bruce Street, Carmen's Way, Northern Ave, Trunk Road. Folks come from all over Algoma District and beyond to buy their truck at Maitland Ford Lincoln. Amazing prices, outstanding service. King Street, Shannon Road, Goulet Bay, Black Road, Everman Road, and even on Pine Shores. Yep, our trucks are everywhere. Get yours at Maitland Ford Lincoln, built for Northern life, on Great Northern Road, just north of the hospital.
Wednesday morning. I'm Colette Linden with Christopher Oldcorn. Welcome to the Special Report AM edition. Thank you to Casey Security for your sponsorship. So we do see one of my very favorite parts of Sault Ste. Marie, the waterfront, is when the bridges are lit up at night.
Yes.
I think it's absolutely beautiful anytime that anyone comes to visit pre-pandemic. I always take them down there in the evening so they can see the bridge lit up. We are a bordering community, like Niagara Falls from where we're from in Hamilton.
Yep.
Obviously, we are bordering communities there, but nothing as beautiful as I have here in Sault Ste. Marie, and I absolutely love it. Anyways, what's the point of me telling you this? Because you already know this. Yesterday was the bridge walk. The virtual bridge walk,
yes.
That media was in attendance and did record. Now, this is a picture here from previous bridge walks. We do realize they're not social distancing and just wanted to draw attention to that. But due to the bridge walk being canceled this year, they decided to go ahead and have a virtual walk. Officials from each city walked and met in the middle. That's a picture from yesterday, I do believe. Officials from each city walked and met in the middle of the bridge at the official border Tuesday morning. This virtual walk was held to show unity during this pandemic. And a great way between the two twin Saults to connect.
Yes.
It was great yesterday,
Hopefully
right?
it'll happen next year.
What?
The bridge walk.
You think it will happen next year?
I said hopefully.
Well, hopefully
I
it
think-
will. Hopefully a lot of things will happen next
I think
year.
it'd be kind of interesting to walk along the bridge. I've only driven on it.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well, you know my my take on bridges. I'm not walking anywhere on a bridge. Like I told you, it's not good for anybody when we cross that bridge with the Mackinac Bridge. It's like the music has to go up. No one's allowed to talk. The windows are up. I have headphones. It's a bad scene. Very, very bad scene. I don't know why. And I used to work for the infrastructure and like we talk about, but yeah, it's just bad. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's my fear. It is what it is. Okay, so today, beginning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 193 UN ambassadors are going to meet in New York City, or sorry, not in New York City. There are our Francois Philippe Champagne, who is the federal transportation minister. He is on his way to New York City to cast Canada's vote around midday. I'm not too sure how they're connecting everybody. I assume it's virtual, and they're respecting all the parameters that are now in place for the government and everybody else who wants to meet and do things for work. Canada is competing against Norway and Ireland for two seats, and this is specifically related to a temporary seat on the United Nations Security Council. Historic promenade of electors is set to take at least 5 hours. Now, pre-pandemic, this would only take an hour. So there's 4 extra hours. The government is working hard for you.
Yeah. Well, they've been campaigning. The Trudeau government's been campaigning for this
Yes,
Security
they have.
Council seat for quite some time.
And they did host that virtual meeting not too long ago as well. So we do hope that we are successful in that bid. European countries are expected to unite around Canada's 2 competitors, which has forced the Trudeau government to focus on Africa, Latin America, and Arab nations, as well as the small island states of the South Pacific. So that is interesting stuff. Clearly, that is at 9 a.m. this morning. It's taking 5 hours, so we'll have an update for you for the 5 p.m. news, I'm sure. But yeah, that's what's going on in the country today. What else do you have for us?
Yeah, well, if I was to guess on who would be getting the seats, I'd go with Norway and Canada.
Well,
Norway, I think we'll just get
we're
more
going to write
support than
that down.
Ireland.
Yeah, we're going to write that down. Heard here at 8:15 a.m. on this fine hump day. All right, Chris,
just
over
because
to
of
you.
the way Norway and Ireland are viewed in Europe and in Britain, I would see most countries throwing their support behind Norway.
Okay.
Ireland is unpopular for multitudinous of reasons, mainly financial.
Okay.
With continental Europe. So.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yes. So that'd be my guess.
See if
Norway
he's right.
and Canada would be my guess on that.
I bet she's going to be right, and I'm going to have to eat crow. Okay.
I hope I'm right.
I'm just kidding.
Then I'll have fun. Okay, so Ontario extended the emergency orders up until June the 30th now, so the end of this month. They will remain in place, and that allows the government to review on a case-by-case and ongoing basis of determining what can safely be reopened. Do we need to adjust the way that we are actually reopening in certain areas? So, for example, like on Friday, everyone but 3 areas will now be in stage 2, and this is all connected to emergency orders and the ability of the government to sort of put this stuff through without having to go to the legislature and get it all passed. Even though they hold a majority government, but that's just how we are actually governed. Now, we're going to have a discussion about what is the difference between a social gathering and a social circle. And there's a lot of confusion about this, so the government's come out again this morning, the provincial government did, to try and explain what is the difference. A social gathering is an event that you go to with a max of 10 people where you have to all socially distance, except for the people you live with. So if you take your family of 4 and go to someone else's house, family of 4, the 4 of you can all not have to social distance because you live together, but you have to stay socially distanced from those 4 other people in the other family that you're visiting. That is called a social gathering, and that's how social distancing works in that case. Now, a social circle is slightly different. A social circle is you have your people that you live with right now. And let's say there's 4 people that you live with right now. And let's say you have your brother and his wife. You can have them added to your social circle without having to socially distance from them. So if you went to their place or they come to your place, they can be within the 2 meters or 6 feet of the social distancing that you have to do with social gatherings. And that goes, but the thing is, that goes up to a maximum of 10. So you can go to a gathering of 10 people and social distance from people in it, but in your social circle of 10 people, you do not have to social distance, even if those people don't live in your house, but that social circle has to be below 10. And so you can't put 12 people into that circle. It's 10 people max. So that is the difference between a social circle and a social gathering.
Thanks for clarifying. I feel much better about it, and we have more to talk about when we come back from this commercial break.
See you in a sec.
A message from the Government of Canada.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room, create privacy, or both. automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
At Fit Bodies, Fit Minds, we want everyone to build a life that they love. And we teach you how to get the results you want in your mind and your body. Introducing our new small group classes to provide you with a happy and healthier life. Our small group classes are limited to 6 people to provide more personal coaching while having the supportive group environment. Classes are 10 weeks, and each week you will receive fitness and nutritional guidance that are tailored to your needs. Fit Bodies, Fit Minds, we inspire you to move.
And welcome back to Special Report. Thank you to KC Securities for your sponsorship. Now, Facebook shoutouts. If you want to send us a good morning, a birthday wish, someone who wants to wish happy birthday or your anniversary, you can let us know on the Facebook chat only. That's the only one we see when we're live on the air. And you just go to our Facebook page and click on the video, and then there's a chat on the side. So I'd like to say good morning to Mark, and also hi to Juliana, who's also watching.
Hi, Mark and Juliana. Hope you have an awesome Wednesday today.
Yes.
So speaking of birthday wishes, Danny Dupuy was out for probably her 15K jog. Just ripping off a half marathon on a Tuesday or a Monday evening. Anyway, she came across another, how we were saying these birthday celebrations? Well, this one was for Stella. So we just thought we'd give Stella an extra little love today. Happy 11th birthday. And she's got a customized t-shirt. What a diva. I absolutely love this. So, and I didn't pick up what it said, but something about the quarantine shirt. She has an actual quarantine t-shirt. So that's awesome. A convoy of cars met at the top of Bruce Street, says the corner. Bruce Street. I was like, what is that street called? And that Great Northern Road that turned into Pym and every other street name that confuses people who weren't born here. Anyway, took a right, went all the way down. But the fun part about this group was they all had water guns and soaked the heck out of each other. So, continue to do that if you're in groups over 10. And make sure that, our 11-year-olds and our little guys, they don't miss that birthday celebration because birthdays are special. So way to go, Sault Ste. Marie, for coming together.
Yes.
Harvest Algoma is another place I want
Happy
to
11th.
Right? Happy 11th. And Stella's such a nice name. Stella. Such a cool name. If you're a Rocky fan, you get it. Harvest Algoma has done a great job throughout this pandemic to make sure that this community is being well fed and taken care of. So in Toronto, they've been shipping up the food, and the numbers are the amount of food by poundage is a crazy amount. There's so many people who are involved in this, but specifically Dan Gauthier, Sam Gauthier, and Will Hurley. They had just made sure that all this food was, came from Toronto, was taken care of. And I do know that Lock City Dairies, I believe, was one of the companies involved that were driving down and transporting the food back. The story is posted to Sue Online. I encourage you to go read that. But again, another reason why our community is coming together. Today at 12 o'clock, Danny Dupuy will be heading to the Sioux Area Hospital. We mentioned this yesterday. This is from Unicor, who's a huge outfit. I think they represent about 350,000 members, give or take a few. And they are they are rallying together behind the hospital where the Tim Hortons entrance is. Just for everybody to realize that, there's other people who might need that the pandemic increase to their wage, who are not included in the frontline workers classification. So they are there rallying together for that. We will have that footage for you in the newscast and probably tomorrow morning as well. So on the show, just so that we can share it with everyone if you missed the newscast at 5 o'clock today.
And the provincial government has changed who qualified for that extra money as well.
Oh, really?
Well, when it first came out, it was like just the nurses and then all.
Okay, so they've been adding to the list?
They've been adding to the list.
All right.
Because originally when they were like, all the frontline healthcare workers can get it. And then when the list came out, it was like, it's nurses.
Yeah.
And so now they've been adding things to it over the last 6 weeks or so, but this is in addition to other healthcare workers.
Well, I think it's great that they're rallying together, and I apologize that I don't have that additional list. It was quite extensive. That was on the press release.
It was all the allied health professionals.
Yeah, but good on them for sticking together. And again, another reason why this community rocks. Everybody just comes together. Speaking of rocking and coming together, we have Algoma Marketplace on SiouxOnline.com. I encourage you to go visit that. Right away, I see some fresh beef steak tomatoes for $1 a pound, which is an amazing deal. And that is by Rich Zest Products. Now, he is one of my favorite interviews. He's such the sweetest man. I have to get to his market. He's doing a market out of his garage, and that video is posted to hashtag In This Together. And I just slipped off the table as I was talking. I was trying to be cool, and it did not come across cool. Hashtag In This Together SSM on TV. But we'll be right back after this commercial break, where I hopefully don't slide under the desk.
See you in a minute.
Welcome back. Happy Wednesday. You're with Chris and Colette. Thank you, Casey Security, for keeping us safe and sound, especially even here at the studio. I know that you're working night shift, and I did notice a post that Dan had made that he's going to take a day off. He's going away. He's having a little vacay, says social media. Yeah, so they've been working crazy hours. So congrats on the break, and I want to see pictures. Okay, quickly, because I know that Chris has got a few things. I just wanted to acknowledge again that we have Arch Hospice as our fundraiser. We're going to keep this on the screen as much as we can until we start seeing that people are donating, hopefully, and they're making some money as they need some help. Okay, today I have an interview with ALS. They have a virtual walk on Sunday, and it's the ALS Day. Mixing my words at the moment, ALS Day on Sunday. So I'll have more about that later, but just wanted to draw attention to it. And again, highlighting Tina McClarty, an amazing lady here in the Soo who has been making masks for the last 3.5 months. She hit her $10,000 mark. We're gonna have her on show as an interview. Can't wait to see you, Tina, and have this conversation. You're an amazing Sooite. Over to you.
Thank you. Alrighty, so just do a little economic news here. We are actually in Canada been recovering fairly positively so far with COVID-19 in terms of adding jobs back and so on. But the International Monetary Fund, they watch the global economy, and they are concerned that there's going to be a worse contraction than the 3% contraction that they originally came out with. And so next week they're going to be coming out with their new report on how they are going to think the economy globally is going to contract. Why this is important for Canada is the whole global economy is interconnected. We buy stuff from China, it gets shipped here. The services sector has been hit very, very hard in some countries, including in this country. So they are very concerned about that. But there is some glimmer of hope, and that is that there is hopefully some pent-up demand for consumer products that's going to happen, and services now, because people are locked up, they haven't been able to do things, they're now going to be able to do that. However, the caveat to that is also that people might be concerned about saving money right now, not going out and spending it. So we'll see what happens there. But we will have more for you at 1 p.m. today with a special report, 5 p.m. with the news, and the Chris Holtcorn Show at 7 p.m. Have a fantastic morning. See you at 1.